Welcome to Ever After, a Once Upon a Time podcast. Season 6, Episode 1, The Savior. I am your host, Molly Southgate, and with me is...
Martha Southgate.
And...
Rob Southgate.
In this episode, the 6th season opener, the heroes plot to halt Hyde, and Emma develops a curious side effect. Meanwhile, refugees from the land of untold stories invade Storybrooke. Regina and Zelena become roommates, and in a flashback, Jafar confronts Aladdin.
What did you think of this one?
Oh, yes.
Well, first of all, it's good to be back.
Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh.
I wish it
awesome.
hadn't started in the middle of our
Podcast
prepping
marathon.
for a podcast.
Yeah, I know
marathon.
it set us back a little
So
bit,
we're
but
a
here
little
we
late,
are.
but better late than never.
Yes.
Yes.
So, you loved it, Mal?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think, Marth?
Well, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I didn't love it.
I'm
Yeah.
exactly the
I
same.
think that I'm not in love with, right now. It feels very convoluted. There's a lot going on and a lot of
being forced.
yeah, and a lot of strings, and I'm kind of going, where's the thread
Yeah.
that ties it all together, and where is the, no pun intended, but where's the hook? I don't mean
Yeah.
the character
Not Captain
hook.
Guyliner.
But I'm not grabbed yet, but it kind of feels like when you start a book
Yeah.
and you're kind of trying to get a feel for it,
A storybook?
Oh,
Yeah.
so bad.
and you're trying to get a feel for it, and it takes a little while before you
Well,
get
here's the thing.
comfortable.
Here's what I was noticing during it. I agree totally. If I go piece by piece, there's a lot of it that I didn't actually really like.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I didn't like the episode. I actually had fun watching it. I just wasn't as engaged in some of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I know what the problem is.
Okay.
There was a promise made that this was the land of untold stories and that we were going to have, like, to anybody seeing that, it makes your brain go crazy. So many things they could do. All we saw from that was a dirigible go by, which that was cool, crash, and then that was really it until at the very end. I mean, we saw them with the torches,
Mm-hmm.
people from there,
Uh-huh.
and then at the very end they were in Granny's Diner, but we didn't get a look at anybody. We don't know what it is. And it
are
didn't
they
have
at
mystery.
Granny's Diner?
Yeah, they were.
They were.
They were. But it doesn't have that air of mystery. They were trying to build it, but the problem was they should have started with that story.
They have too many things going on.
I didn't need to see so much of Rumpelstiltskin and Belle. That needs to come later.
That
I
and
didn't need to
also
see
Regina
Regina
and
and Zelena.
Zelena.
That you should have had little bits of that
Yeah.
and maybe had one focused untold story so we got an idea of
Yeah,
what's
I
going
agree.
on. Hyde is a fantastic bad guy, though.
Yeah.
He was really menacing, and he is not the big bad, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
No, because he said, you don't know who your villain is.
No,
It's not him.
that's Regina's villain. Because,
Jafar is Emma's, isn't it?
no, we
don't know that.
Didn't
we saw
they
Jafar.
allude to the fact?
No,
We saw
Aladdin.
Jafar at the beginning.
Aladdin is Jafar is Aladdin's.
Right. So we saw
What?
Jafar fighting Aladdin. What?
Yeah,
What?
except it was a new
Wait.
Jafar.
What if Regina is a savior?
Regina.
Regina.
What if Regina is a savior? She has her bad. She has that bad part of her.
Like if
That
she's
is
now
her
turned
bad
into a
guy.
savior and she has to fight her evil side.
That is her bad guy. That is her nemesis.
What if Regina is Emma's bad guy?
Not anymore.
No,
but maybe the evil
second
queen
half,
is.
Yeah.
Mm?
Well, okay. So they showed Emma fighting her bad guy in when they had the flash forward when she
A
was
weird cloak.
when she talked to the Oracle. Right. Kind of looked like a Dementor. But if you watched how they physically moved, they were smaller. I was thinking it was either somebody like either a female, okay,
That's what I thought.
or somebody like Rumpelstiltskin who's a little bit smaller.
Yeah. Okay, Rumpelstiltskin and Belle.
See, I didn't love that part.
Yes, but okay, I loved the part when they started dancing.
Yes, of course. Well, that's Beauty and the Beast, and that was cool and everything.
But
you know what the
we've
best?
seen it.
We've seen it. The best part of that was when he said it was Morpheus.
Yeah.
But what took it out for me, I thought it was really interesting to bring the character of Morpheus in. I thought this is cool. Once again, going into, it's not even untold stories, but maybe it is the untold stories of Morpheus and of all this. I thought, cool. But then they said it was their kid pretending to be Morpheus. which means
Oh.
he was playing Morpheus. It's like, well, that wasn't Morpheus. We're not really seeing that. That was all a setup. What's going on here? Is Morpheus in this, or is it just their kid? And is it really their kid? Because Rump was alluding to the fact that maybe not.
What if it's flipped? It's Morpheus pretending to be their child, purposely trying to break them up because of something that happens.
So he's a trickster?
What if he is trying to save Belle? What if he does love Belle? Because that true
he said it was true love's kiss, but then he was saying that it was being her son.
But what if in another life they love each other, like they're married or something, and he's trying to save her from Rumpelstiltskin?
Well, and if he's Morpheus, he's Dream. He controls Dream. So even that, he's making the rules. If he's Morpheus, he's making the rules. So him saying, look, I'm your son, and my true love's kiss is bringing you out, he has the power to bring her out because of who he is. So maybe that was just a setup, but I don't know. And I don't know the way this first episode kind of went. I think everything we're saying might be further down the rabbit hole than what this show is really giving us. It didn't seem, I had a vision of it gripping these really cool stories and doing this cool stuff, and it still may. We didn't see it here.
Yeah, this was
we saw
rough beginning.
Yeah, it was kind of like we're going back to the same well over and over and over and over.
We've already seen this. Already seen that. Yep, already saw that.
You're gonna have Regina and Zelena team up, and Zelena's got to go bad again. I don't want that. I like her being kind of good, but on the outs and broken. That's okay.
I loved when the regular Regina, like our Regina, was roommates with her. I'm like, Zelena's happy. She's excited.
She's happy, but there's still that edge.
I know.
There's still that, which is good. I want that.
I know. I didn't really get Regina as much.
No, I can tell you what was going on with Regina. And once again, this is where I started to feel it was forced. I was actually getting taken out of the show at this point. When Regina is really sad about Robin, because if we go about when this all happened, it just happened to her.
I know, but...
And when Zelena said, oh, I have this feather that I was supposed to give you, it was Robin's, it once again, it was convenient. It was a plot device, which is where it fell a little short for me. I get that her motivation then, she hears that and it hurts her and it makes her go, but, you're twisting the knife and I'm blaming you. And I'm trying to get over that. That's why she was acting the way she was. And actually, this was actually one of the better moments of it, was Snow told her, deal with this. And she did. The evil queen, when she was evil queen or past season Regina, she wouldn't have. It would have been anger. It would have been whatever. What did she do? She's in the room with Zelena and she says, I have a problem. It's you. And here's what it is. And I thought this was actually pretty good writing. This was a good moment. The problem was I wasn't as engaged. Now we'll see. Episode 2, 3, 4 might be amazing because we haven't had a lot of clunkers in this series. And it seems weird that this first one was a clunker.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said I'm not sure necessarily that it is if it was just them setting it up.
Too much setup in too small a space. It would have been better to start out with, yes, we have the fallout of what happened in the last season, and we get a story that's almost contained from Land of Untold Stories where we see this is what we're getting. We still don't really know what we're getting. If those Land of Untold Stories characters are in the background and we get two main things that kind of happen with the dirigible and Hyde, and that's going to be a little, or if all the Untold Stories, which they did allude to in the preview, are Cinderella's untold story, like the characters we already know, if it's their untold stories, once again, like their secrets are revealed because their untold stories come forward, I'm a little less interested in that.
I think it's going to be, because when you looked there in that area, it was Cinderella's Untold Stories.
Yeah.
But also, there was another what was the other character?
They had Jasmine and Aladdin's Untold Story.
We haven't seen that yet.
We had Cinderella's Untold Story. Now, Martha, you pointed out it was a different Jafar than when we had him in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder about...
That took me out. That kind of bothered me.
It did.
Because it was so obvious, and
this show had so much continuity.
Right, and we loved Saeed in Lost, and so we loved him as Jafar. And so for me, I was
show up
waiting.
as Jafar on this too?
I thought he did, and I was waiting for him, and I'm thinking, that guy doesn't have that much of a career. What's he doing?
Oh, stop it. The other thing is...
Why couldn't he be on here? I don't know.
Well, but he also...
I guess maybe he
It
does.
seemed like they were writing the character differently than they had written him before. Now, that doesn't mean, because they've got splintered timelines and they've got all this stuff, that what we were seeing is the story of Aladdin, and there is a different Jafar for that story. Because the Jafar we saw... We never saw him deal with Aladdin. We saw him dealing with that storyline. Maybe it's a different Jafar.
Yeah.
Similar character, but it's a different story. So that's why we've got a different Jafar. That's possible. And if that's possible, does that mean that we could have other characters that are mirrored, just like Regina and the Evil Queen, mirrored?
Mm.
And if that's the case...
And it's really convoluted.
But you know what? If there's only so many of them coming through, I'm not as worried about that. It might be interesting to have two Belles that have completely split things going on.
If we see Lacey again, I will throw up.
Lacey!
I will throw up.
Okay.
Lacey.
I'm gonna request to Horowitz and Katniss, the ones who make the show.
Horowitz and
I don't
Katniss?
think it's Katniss.
What is it?
Katniss?
Katniss Everdeen, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend,
Katniss.
or I'm going to request
Mm-hmm.
that they do not have Lacey, because I don't want to have to clean up the barf. I don't have enough orange sawdust, so
Don't do Lacey.
don't do Lacey.
Mm-hmm.
The Rump and Belle thing, I'm just,
It's
I
tired.
love Rumpelstiltskin.
It's tired.
But it is. It was the same well again. Here's the problem that happened there. They had a lot of good things built up, and yeah, they went back to that well a few times.
You've said well like 4,000.
But that's what they're
Yeah.
doing.
I know, but we need a new
But with
Hole.
this,
metaphor.
with-
Hole.
back to the hole. But with this, it became that same story again. Whereas, yeah, you had him becoming bad. Is he good? Is he bad? Back and forth, back and forth. We did comment on that before, but here he's trying to be good. She's not accepting him. It's like we really have seen that.
And that's not true to Belle. Every single thing with Belle, we got tired of this because it kept going back and forth. If it didn't do that, then, because everything with Belle was, oh, Rumpelstiltskin, I see the good in you.
Right.
I see the good in you.
But
and
didn't
I'm
she
gonna
get
help
over
you
that
bring
last
it out.
season?
Yes, but still, there is good in him, and she should be seeing it, because it's not as true to Belle as
Okay.
she's like, oh no, you've done such an evil to us. Oh, get out of here.
So you think-
so that's good, but she's like, we had a warning from our son. You don't know if that's your son. Be with him. He's trying to be with you.
You don't think that she would have at this point shut the door?
She would not have. I don't
Interesting.
know if it's Belle.
Oh, you don't know if it's Belle. Like he went into dream and he was tricked, and it's not actually Belle. It's Belle.
And he woke her up.
It's Belle. It's Belle.
Okay.
It's Belle. It's not somebody else. I'm confident in that. But it is. But she is out of character. You are right.
It's Dream Belle. Is there two different? Did
Because
he
of the
go
Land
into
of
the
Story
wrong?
thing.
Did he go into the wrong dream? He
Oh, if
might
he
have
was
gone into his
tricked-
dream.
If he
went into
tricked,
one of his dreams and was with Dream Belle, not the right Belle. He brought the wrong Belle back.
because he was dealing with his issues in there of
He
I have to be good in here.
He brought the wrong Belle back.
He may have brought the wrong Belle back. That might have not been his dream or her dream. That was all a construct of whatever was of Morpheus, who might be Morpheus. That might be the Sandman who's a trickster and playing a trick on him to get what he wants. He wants to come through. If he could bring Dream Belle through, why can't he bring Morpheus through into the real world? That might be an interesting twist.
So that was not real Belle. And if he went into her dream, I bet if they look back at Storybrooke, if she's awake,
She's back in Storybrooke. They showed her. She
But-
walked up to Gold's thing.
At the end.
which Belle was. Did they did not show you that they did not see him go inside of the shop and look
Right.
at her bed, because normally it's like, oh, this is where she was. They did not show that.
wait.
She could be there.
And what
Waiting.
if, when we were saying that the villain that Emma has to fight, what if it's that Belle?
Or Morpheus.
Well, what if Morpheus embodied Belle to get through that to be brought through. When Rump did that magic and Belle stepped through it, I'm not taking you with him, step through it. What if that was actually Morpheus or whatever this villain entity is, walked through into Storybrooke through that portal, unbeknownst to Rump? He thinks it's Belle, but it's not. And that's why the thing in the cloak looked like a smaller stature. She is smaller.
Belle's little.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, when it was, this is a funny part, when Morpheus is so tall and he's like, I am your son. And it's like, and they're like, really, they're kind of
the
short.
two were so short. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
he's
I know
like,
who's
"I am
playing
your
center
son."
in their
I'm so
basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. We busted on it a little bit. What did you like about it, Mel? Because first thing you said is you really liked it. What did you like about it?
Regina and Snow. I loved that.
Okay.
How they're banding together finally.
Yeah.
And they make a really good team.
They do.
And
Yeah,
it's
they
weird.
have good chemistry.
It's kind of weird to be like, oh, they're mother and daughter, but Regina is Snow's grandson's mother.
Right.
So what would that make her?
Mm-hmm.
It's very
It's
confusing.
complicated.
Mm-hmm. Only in Storybrooke, right?
Only in
Uh-huh.
Storybrooke, yes.
Mhm.
What about you, Mark? What was your favorite?
Hmm.
I didn't like the Hook and Emma thing. That's my
No.
last complaint too.
No.
I love Hook. And I thought that was way
boring
convoluted.
and not.
And when she turned on him and was like, I need to be alone, I was like, nah, I know, we've seen this.
Yeah.
We're not going to play this cat and mouse anymore. Stop it.
Yeah, I'm not into that whole thing.
But what did you love?
Hmm.
I loved the beginning.
Mhm.
When they showed that untold story, that moment of that, and Jafar came in, I thought Jafar was pretty tough.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool scene.
And
we saw the
Aladdin's
tremor
the
hand.
savior.
All
Right.
right.
I wish that it had been our Jafar.
I'm going to go against you for a little bit and say that what I loved
Yeah.
was the evil Regina and Zelena
Oh,
scene.
Oh yeah, when
the
Zelena
evil,
said
yes.
when Zelena said to actual Regina when they had the little fight, I loved that bit. When Zelena's like, "You took the one part out of you that was most like me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, "How does that make me feel? You're mad at me for all of these things that I didn't
Right.
do.
Right.
Yeah.
What about this?"
Mm-hmm. I like the idea of I like getting to revisit Evil Queen.
Yeah.
I loved Regina. That actress plays that
Oh,
character
she's
so
so great.
brilliantly, and getting that little taste of it, and then still getting. I love good Regina.
Yes.
Do not get me
Oh,
wrong.
yeah.
I
No, it's great
adore
having
good Regina.
both characters.
But I am going to really love this season of being able to get that back.
Yes.
Get that taste of that.
the
back.
drink she offered Zelena was
The
bright green.
fuzzy,
green.
foamy thing.
That was an appletini. Well, it was bright green and it had an apple slice
Yeah.
on
A
it.
martini.
You
Made
said,
out of apple.
I know, but you said fuzzy thing.
Like fizzy.
Oh, you said fuzzy.
I didn't mean to.
I'm like, why
Like
was
foamy, fizzy, fuzzy, whatever.
I did love
It
when
all
Evil
means
Regina
the same
showed
to
up.
me.
I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I just think I need the next episode to get into the
I
story.
agree.
Yeah.
And the things I didn't walk away going, I loved, but there are things when I think back on it, like, yeah, I could see if you were rewatching this episode, if you were rewatching the series, there would be things in this that you go like, yeah, that was really cool. Not my favorite episode.
Uh-huh.
Not a bad episode, just not my favorite.
Yep,
Yeah.
agree.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we get it all out there?
Yep.
Well, all right. Let's end it the way every great fairy tale ends.
Happily ever after.
The
The end.